In this video, I get to ride the bike which everyone is currently talking about. New for 2022 is the Ducati DesertX, and after riding it for a day, I think I know why it's the hot topic in the biking world. Let me start by saying a massive thank you to Ducati London for inviting me to take this bike out for the day, especially, and unknown to them, as it was my birthday. It was suggested to me to put the bike in sport mode for ride around town, and I was really surprised how smooth the power delivery was. You could easily ride this bike through London. The first thing I noticed when I got on the DesertX was how tall it was. Now I'm 5 foot 10.5 inches, or 179 centimetres, and I was on tiptoes. The standard seat height is 875mm, but you can take it up to 890mm or lower it to 865mm with a low seat kit. When riding in traffic, I was the same height as White Van Man while he was driving, which felt very strange, only because I'm not used to sitting that high on a bike. But I'll come back to the seat height in a little bit. After chatting to the guys at Ducati UK, I was keen to capture some images of the DesertX in central London. I had already found a really cool location where I photographed my speed triple a few years ago, and I knew Ducati UK would appreciate it if I could grab some shots of the DesertX in the same location. And so off I went on the embankment of the River Thames, overlooking the Houses of Parliament with the beautifully restored Queen Elizabeth Tower in the background, which houses Big Ben. Because of the rail strikes which were happening that day, the traffic in London was horrendous. It's never great riding in London, and I soon got fed up trying to find somewhere to park, so made my way back to sunny Essex. The seat is really comfortable and the bike felt smooth when cruising along the A and M roads. I love the cruise control and the shield really works well, and as a naked rider I noticed a difference straight away. It obviously isn't as fast as the Street Fighter V4S, which I recently rode, but it had more than enough power for touring. I'm sure it would have given Van Man a run for his money if I wanted it to, but these days I have the gift of great self-control. Well, sometimes. So after riding around for a while, I found myself an area to take the bike off-road, and I must admit I was a bit unsure whether I should or not, as I really didn't want to drop the bike. After checking out the area by foot, I decided to go for it, especially as the bike has been designed for off-road use, and the images and video which I've seen gave me the confidence to do that. Unfortunately, my GoPro battery died just moments before I went off-road, and I really wanted to get some still shots as quickly as I could, so I do apologise for not getting my own footage, but hang around to the end to see some awesome off-road action on the DesertX. My next stop was to another location where I knew I wouldn't be disturbed too much while taking photos and shooting video. I was wrong. So many passers-by stopped for a chat about the bike, and yes, I was asked twice if I'm selling the bike. Now whenever I take shots of a bike, someone always asks that question. Now at the second location, I was keen to take the bike off-road again, into the woods. Now when riding off-road, I felt the bike was a bit too tall for me, and on an uneven surface, when I went to put my foot down, I felt a little concerned that I may lose my footing. When riding, it was great, and the soft ride and the power felt awesome. Now, I would really love to be more adventurous on this bike, but I certainly didn't want to drop it on my test ride. It did feel heavy to me when I was manoeuvring it on an uneven surface, especially on a slope. So why is everyone talking about this bike? We all know that the adventure bike market is massive, not just in the UK, but around the world. But the difference with this bike, according to Ducati, is that it has been engineered from the ground up with a bias towards off-road riding. Ducati have the Multistrada in their range, which is an adventure bike, but is more road orientated. The DesertX, as you can immediately see, has been influenced in its styling by the Paris-Dakar Rally, but it also has a modern retro look to it, which I personally think appeals to many younger riders as well as old school bikers. The engine is a 937cc V2, which delivers 110 horsepower at 9,250 RPM. Up front, the headlights are an amazing design and very modern, The screen pays homage to the old school Dakar bikes, and at the back the rear light also has a real retro feel to it, but it's also state of the art and automatically activates in the event of sudden braking. But the DesertX isn't just a modified multistrada. The chassis is a brand new design with a new steel trellis frame. It has state of the art Brembo brakes for incredible stopping power. It has a brand new electronics package with 6 rider modes: wet, urban, sport, touring, enduro and rally. The handlebars can be adjusted for road and off-road use. Fully adjustable suspension front and back. It has a 21-inch front wheel and an 18-inch rear wheel. Tyres are Pirelli Scorpion Rally STRs, chosen for all-round use, both on and off the road. It has a Quickshifter, heated grips and cruise control as standard. Let's talk about the Quickshifter. At slow speeds it's really clunky, and I'm talking really clunky. But I'm sure that's a deliberate move from Ducati so that you don't accidentally change gear when riding off-road. But at high revs, the Quickshifter works really well. I much preferred using the clutch for changing gear when riding slowly, if I'm honest. To finish with, here's that off-road action I promised you. A thanks to Ducati UK for supplying the media. Now this really does show what the DesertX is capable of. So what do you think of the DesertX? Do you ride an adventure bike? Would you be interested in the DesertX? As always, let me know your thoughts in the comments. Thanks as always for watching, and thanks again to Ducati UK and Ducati London for the loan. Subscribe, like and comment.